Hi, welcome to Big Bad Dad TV. Today we're going to do a review of the KOBALT 80-volt lawnmower and string trimmer. So let's go. So here we have it. This is the KOBALT 80-volt lawnmower and line trimmer. Like I said, well, I don't think I've already said it, but I purchased this about a month ago. I've used it several times. That's why it's dirty. This video is not about a open boxing or unwrapping the lawnmower. This is pretty much what you see is what you get. It does come, the lawnmower itself comes with the lawnmower, 2 battery packs, and a charger. The battery packs are 2.5 amp hours. As far as what I've been using on my lawn, and I'll show you the size of that a bit later, one battery has made it, but it hasn't been that long of a lawn to really test the engine, just because it's been so hot down out here in Texas. But today we've had some rain the last couple of weeks. I waited an extra week to mow the lawn, so I actually have a legitimate growth on my St. Augustine grass that should give this lawnmower a test to see actually how long the batteries will last. I also did purchase the 80-volt line trimmer. I love it. It also comes with another battery and another charger, which great with that is I have 2 chargers and 3 batteries now that are interchangeable between both of these. That gives me plenty of battery life that I can get them recharged and pretty much going without stopping whatsoever. My experience so far now with the charging is I don't think I've had anything take longer than 30 minutes to fully charge after they've been done with these chargers. I've been very happy with these units so far. They're quiet, maintenance free so far, and I like them. One of the good things about this line trimmer, it is adaptable with other parts. Lowe's, as far as I know, or KOBALT do not make any parts for their attachments, but they said that they are universal attachments, whatever that means. But the good news is they do fit my old Ryobi stuff. I have a blower, I've got an edger. I prefer to edge than use a string trimmer along my grass lines. They work perfect with it. So so far right now I'm very happy, but I'll give you an idea of how it cuts and battery life, and we'll conclude everything at the end. Come on with me. All right, so here we go. We're about to start mowing. I wanted to show you how the battery did go in. We just raise this up, this pops out, and you're able to shove the battery back in until it clicks. As you can see right here, we've got 3 bars of power. We'll see how long that lasts once we get down mowing. We'll also be using the string trimmer to edge the yard right around the corner, front yard. Don't really have much string trimming or edging here, I'm lucky. But it is the St. Augustine. It is pretty thick, pretty tall. I would say, just to give you an idea of how deep we're talking about. I set mine pretty high, right about 3.5 inches high. This has been no problem before, but this will be the highest it's cut so far. So we'll see how the battery life lasts on that. So we'll start mowing. I'll set this up, show you a little bit of what's going on there, and then we'll give a final thoughts at the end. Thank you. Okay, so we're back, we're ready to start mowing. I wanted to give you an idea of how actually quiet this motor is. Much quieter than anything I've been using. Honestly, I think my wife's hairdryer might be a little bit louder than this. If I wanted to, I could mow at 4 o'clock in the morning, but that ain't happening because I don't get up that early. But anyway, so I want to get it started. I want to mow a little bit and let you get to see how it cuts, and then we'll break away and mow the whole lawn and give our final feedbacks on that. So here we go. To start it, you push this button first, then pull the handle up, and it starts. It sounds like a big fan. Let's start mowing. Okay, so we just finished mowing the front yard. That took about 15-20 minutes for my yard. Pretty high grass. I did have some wet spots, things like that, that make this motor work a little hard. But as you can see, I pull the battery out. I don't know if you can see that, but I still have two lights up by 3. So I have 2 bars basically to do the backyard, which is a lot smaller. So I'm really happy with that. A couple of features that I didn't talk about earlier. This motor has a variable speed motor. I think most of these lawnmowers do. It's nothing special, but it's something pretty cool that as you're going, the electric motor's set at a constant speed that cuts grass great. And as the motor senses resistance, taller grass or whatever, it'll amp up significantly to power through that stuff. And then I guess 2 or 3 seconds later, or when it doesn't feel the pressure anymore, it lowers back down to a lower speed, which is fine for other things. That's a good and a bad thing. Obviously, when it happens, you use a lot more power and than you would it normally. The other part of it is too, once it senses it, it starts picking up, but you've kind of started mowing all the way through that area that made it pick up, which is not an issue. I've already, like I said, I've had this thing for about a month and a half. Mowed the lawn several times. I've learned that as you sense that mowing up or ramping up, pause just a little bit, let it get up to speed and go right over everything that you're going through right that time, and then it'll lower back down. But like I said, every time I mowed this lawn, I've been able to do it with 1 battery with plenty to spare. I haven't had the height that I have now. I've let it grow for 2 weeks, and we've had some significant rain, luckily, in my house. So this is a pretty good test of what this thing can do. So far, so happy. I'm so happy with the battery life. Another great thing about this lawnmower that my own gas one did it is the height adjustment. This thing does 1 level, pulls everything up. You can do it with 1 hand. No more crooked lawns or things like that that I used to do with my old Honda. I'd forget to leave 1 tire not the same height and everything be going sideways. That's not going to be an issue with this so far. So, all right, well, we'll finish up the backyard. We'll get this going, and we'll catch you in a few. Okay, so now we've got the 80 volt max string trimmer. It's the same, use the same battery as the lawnmower. It also works across all their other, I guess, products. They have a blower, a leaf blower, snow blower, stuff like that. Obviously, we don't need that in Texas. But anyway, same battery. So purchasing this product gave me another battery, another charger that I could use without. Just like the lawnmower, plug it in, it snaps in. You've got a start button, 2 speeds, and a safety switch. After you start it up and choose your speeds, you're ready to go with the trigger. The cool thing about this is that the trigger also regulates the power to the head. So if you put it in high, you can still pull the trigger all the way down and have a high speed, and lower the trigger down. It changes its RPM relative to the trigger, which is nice, gives you a lot more control out there. This thing does have attachments. KOBALT calls it a universal attachment. It comes with the string trimmer, but as far as I know and everything that I've read, KOBALT itself doesn't make other products for this. But like they said, this is a universal attachment, and it just so happens to fit all my old Ryobi stuff. So I've got a blower, a edger, and a couple other items that do fit on this and work fine for this. So that's a great option if you've got some old things. As long as they fit that Ryobi, which is pretty much universal, it will fit on here. My yard, we'll show you in a little bit, uses very little string trimming. So this is going to be a horrible test to see how well this performs as far as a string trimmer, because I really don't do a lot of it. I use this more for the blower and the edging. But I will say this, it seems to be pretty powerful. I think it would handle anything that anybody has out there that's normal. If you're got a job is to do lawn mowing and things like this, you probably want to go up to more of a gas type Echo Professional series. But for the house and what I use around here, this thing's just perfect. So we'll get started in just a second. As we talked about earlier before with this thing, my Ryobi tools do snap on. This is our blower. I do plan on buying the KOBALT 80 volt blower, but while this still works, it works fine around my house, and so I'll just give you a little demonstration of this too. Okay, we just finished up mowing and doing everything else that we were doing today with this battery. I'll start off with full battery, fully charged. It's a single battery. Pull it out, and as you can see, I still have 2 bars left, which means I think I could easily do another full side of my yard, or maybe a little bit more, but you know, who knows. So for me, this fits perfectly, but I do have other batteries to use if I needed to. My blower over here, I weed-eated, which is very little. I edged, which is okay. I do a lot more blowing with that Ryobi than everything else. I've used 1 battery on that, and I still have 2 full bars on that. One thing of note, you will be surprised how much a blower uses the battery life. It actually does it pretty quick. It was kind of surprising. But it's still more than I ever needed to complete my project in my yard. Another thing that I didn't mention before, I mulch obviously, but it does come with the KOBALT does come with a bagger and a side mount discharge. I'll never ever use that. I don't even think we're allowed to use that in Arlington or Texas for the landfills. So anyway, I'll show you how we put it up. I always like to leave the battery out just for safety if I ever put my fingers underneath. I could never do this with my gas mower. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think most of your electric mowers do this. But this is so easy. Just pull straight out, turn it sideways, this goes up. And they're light. Put it back up. And then it's out of the way. I'm done. It's great. So anyway, that's it. We're done mowing today. I'll get cleaned up around here, get set up in the backyard, and kind of talk about my conclusions about this lawnmower. Appreciate it. Oh, yeah, and I've got another thing to show you. For my research in these batteries, these lithium-ion batteries, the two things that kill them over time is completely running them dry and then recharging them, or heat. And so I thought, why not make a little bracket and put it inside my house where it's AC, just right outside the garage. I just got some plywood, mounted my chargers up here, put it on with a power strip that I can turn off when I'm not using, and things like that. So I just come home when I'm done and put these in, and they start charging. They're actually really nice chargers. They have a fan in here that cools off the charging unit and goes to the battery and actually cools off the battery. That's going to add a lot of life to it. And I just keep my batteries up here. I've got my third one right here, which I've never had to use yet. So it's about 1:30, I believe, so I'll get back to you when these fully charge and give you a charging time. This was one, had 2 bars left. I told you earlier I had 2 bars left with my blower and weed eater. I lied on accident. I had 1 bar left, so it's going to take a little bit longer to use than the other ones. But anyway, it seems to be a good little setup for me. It might be overkill. I don't know if leaving them out in the garage in 120-degree heat all the time will deteriorate these over time. I just don't want to take any chances. Plus, I'm in the AC watching my batteries, and when they're done, I can pull them off. KOBALT does recommend that you don't leave them on the charger all the time. Even though they stop charging by themselves, they say when they're done, pull them off and store them up top. So that's good. Hope that's a good idea for you. All right, so we finished up mowing with our new lawnmower. I would say new. Like I said, I've had it for about a month and a half, maybe closer to 2 months now. But anyway, I did want to bring up something I didn't notice. My son was videotaping. When I put those batteries into charge, he noticed one of those was red. The light came on red. That is a protective feature from the, I guess for the charger, for the battery, I mean. When the battery's hot after being used and outside, like I said, it's probably 95, 96 degrees when I was mowing today. That battery itself was cool enough to run, but it was a little hot to be charged. So it won't charge. It'll show a red sign on there, or a red light on there until that battery cools down a little bit. I've gone back in and replugged it in. That was literally 4 or 5 minutes ago. I put it back on. It's charging perfectly now. So I didn't see that before, but thank you, son, for letting me know, so we can let you guys know why that red light was on. So that's part of the features. It's a good thing to have. Again, helps save your batteries. The lawnmower itself, I love it. For me, in my house, the grass that I use, how I mow, it's absolutely perfect. I wouldn't trade it in for any gas mower in the world right now. Like I said, I've had it a month and a half, 2 months. I've had several lawnmowers under my belt with it. It's given me 0 problems. I love it. I love the power, the torque, and the quiet. I can't tell you how quiet this lawnmower is. It does not show that, or the video does not pick it up as it really is. It's going to be much louder in the video than what you would hear in real life. It literally sounds like a fan, like a box fan. And then when you're cutting through grass, the actual cut of the grass is louder than the mower. It's amazing. Like I said before, if you wanted to mow at midnight, you could. You're not going to disturb anybody doing it. I love that part about it. I love the torque. It's cut through any grass that I've put it through. Like I said, I have St. Augustine. I don't grow it crazy to where I've given it a death test and try to kill my mower. But like I said, for my needs, it's perfect. If I had a ½ acre of a straight field with knee-high grass or ankle-high grass, or I'm sorry, grass 6 or 7 inches long, I'm sure this could do the job, but I'm also sure that you'd go through 1,000 batteries overworking that engine a bunch. I love that part. But it's not perfect. There are some issues. There's trade-offs of everything. It's not going to be as powerful as a big 5-horse Briggs & Stratton or one of those bad boy Honda engines. It's just not going to be. But again, I trade that off for my yard, what I use for the quietness of it, and the instantaneous. I put it up.
Next year, when it like sits out for the whole winter, I'm just going to plug the batteries in and take off. I'm not going to have to worry about ethanol. I'm not going to worry about getting my engine started, getting it running right, starting the first time. It's all those things that over my life of mowing lawns for 30 plus years that I've had to deal with. I don't have to deal with anymore. But like I said, there are some issues that aren't perfect. If you mow in a wet environment, a bunch of dew, if you like to mow real early in the morning and there's a bunch of dew all over the place, that's going to really hamper the lawnmower. It ties it up, it makes it work harder. The battery's life will not last nearly as long. I don't mow that way. I wait until the dew gets done and I mow in the afternoons. I don't mind getting out and getting in the heat. If you've got a very large property, I think it says in the pamphlet or whatever that comes with the Ryobi that you can mow a 1/4 acre easily with one battery. Well, you know, maybe you can, maybe you can't. It does mine just fine. I haven't measured it out. I'm not sure exactly how many acres I've got or a point of an acre I've got. But like I said, it does my yard just fine. I think I could do double of these yards, 2 of these yards easy with one battery. You don't have to decide that for yourself. But for me, in the right environment, this lawnmower is perfect. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Price is right. I believe I got it for $440 with a 10% coupon I got it through Lowe's website, and I picked it up. A lot of those 10% coupons don't work out the store. For me, they're $4.99 normally. Got it for $4.49, something around there. I got the string trimmer. Normally it's $1.99, I believe. I got that for $1.47. It was on sale, and I had a 10% coupon with that too. Again, getting those 2 things really helped me out. It gives me 2 chargers and 3 batteries. 2 came with the lawnmower, 1 comes with the other deal. I am going to buy the blower just because it's a lot more powerful than that little rinky-dink thing I've got for my my Ryobi attachment. That'll give me another charger, another battery. I'll be able to mow anything and keep things charged with that just fine. The batteries, like I said, they're not finished charging yet, but every time I've used them completely dead, they have never taken over 30 minutes to be fully charged again. Usually it's about 10 or 15 minutes from when I use it over here, and then I charge them up, and that's what they've been at. So that's my suggestion. Thumbs up on that, 5 stars, but it all depends on what your needs are. You need to evaluate your needs. Don't let my video decide that for you. Take what I've shown you, what it does, and apply that to what you have. And if that's something that'll work, it'll work fantastic. My yard is perfect. It can do a lot more than my yard, but for me, it's absolutely perfect. I appreciate doing this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me some feedback. Honestly, it's my first one ever. I'm going to get a lot better at this. I do enjoy it. I've had a great time. I'll put the links to where I bought this at the bottom. If you like that, go to that link. Go buy one for yourself. Like my posts and subscribe. And leave me some feedback if you need anything else. I'm going to finish up here. I'm going to have a little drink. And then I'm going to go outside, walk out front, and look at my pretty lawn. Stay with me. Stay tuned. We'll see you again. And like always, faith, family, and fun. Enjoy yourselves.